Hello, golf fanatics. Billy Ho Sports back again for another PGA course preview. DraftKings first look. Man, what a shit show that Farmers was. I know everybody you either destroyed everybody or you just were completely shut out. I even targeted guys playing on the North course on Wednesday, which turned out to be the right call because we all know if you followed it Thursday, which was the set round two, was a awful day to be on the North course, exposed to the wind. They even suspended play at one point, then tried to come back and finish the next day. So anyway, that was a really tough uh sledding. But over the weekend, I got it. I got some of it back listening to Mayo. They brought up, I believe that his guy Paul brought up the KH Lee thing, where how well he was playing. I went on there and looked at it. I said, "Damn, that's pretty cool." Plus 250 or something for a top 20, and all he's just right there, one stroke away from it, and coming back on the course and at a good time. And I thought, well, I need to parlay that with something, and I was looking at Novak a little earlier. Novak was plus 100. So I tacked him on it, made it like plus 600 for those two to parlay. And of course, they crushed it on Saturday or round three. They crushed it, which would have been Friday. And Novak almost won the golf tournament. I could have done both of them, parlayed it for a top 10, and that would have paid out real well. But anyway, on to the AT&T Pro Signature event. We're going to look at the courses. So the contest is out. Get in that contest. Support the channel by making sure, one, you're subscribed, two, you're smashing that like, sharing on social media, join the Discord. Invite can be posted. Just ask for it. Let's go. The AT&T Pro-Am is two rounds with the pros, one on the Spyglass Hill course, the other on Pebble Beach. Then they play the weekend with just the pros, Pebble Beach, to declare it. This is a signature event, no cut, 80 players. So the last two rounds on Pebble, Monterey is gone. We get into Spyglass Hill, which is par 72, 7,041 yards, Poa Rye fairways, 5,000 square feet of Poa grass greens, and they run slow. Spyglass less coastal, but still a very hard course. The first five holes are the coastal one, but then it moves into Del Monte Forest for tree line fairways, and the rest lots of blind tee shots, elevated greens. Then you go to Pebble Beach, which is your classic link style. We get iconic golf course, 7,000 yards, par 72, shortest greens on tour, smallest greens, I should say, 3,500 square feet, pure coastal Poa, sandy, wet, the mist off the breeze, marine layer, 118 bunkers, guarding the golf course. It's a second shot golf course all day. The fairways are really easy. The holes are short. You just club down a lot of times, and then you're trying to knock it close as you can, get it on a good putting surface. You want to be hitting the green in regulation often as possible, but you got to keep that ball below the hole, or putting can be a real issue, as you will see and hear. Okay, here's a quick rundown of the Spyglass scorecard. As you can see, it's not an easy golf course, but attack, attack, attack on those par fives. They are not all bunnies. You do get kind of a good handshake hole at number one, but you can see par fives are usually ranked very highly. So this one's number 14, which means there's four holes easier than this. Only a 26% birdie rate on the first hole opening par five. Interesting. Then you can see really not a whole lot. I mean, you got 19 here for the short par four. You're going to have some sub 400 par fours out here at Pebble, including the Spyglass. And here's number seven, pretty tough par five as well, but 37, a little easier. Then you got your bunny, 43% here. And then as you ease down, you have the par five, 560, 27%. Not all that, but you do have some easy par fours coming home. So the back nine does play a little easier than the front, and they do split off into two different directions. One of them heads in to the woods, and the other one's a little more coastal. So when you look at the scorecard, you can see Basically, you just want to, white knuckle the par threes, take advantage of the short par fours, and attack par fives. Now, over on Pebble, which is a gettable golf course, obviously, you can see you start off with a pretty tough par four. Basically, Pebble is like you just lay it out there in the fairway and then try to knock it on the green in the middle somewhere, and you should have a decent putt. With the small greens, the goal is to get the ball on the green with the easiest putting surface, no matter where you are, because it's almost as hard to putt from 5 to 7 feet in some places than it is to putt from 15 to 20 feet. So you'll probably hear that a lot. But anyway, you can see the par five, 516, super short, big time eagle rate, 4.7%. There's the other par five. The par threes are going to be the ones in red. You can see how tough they are as you slide down. And then you finish up. Hole number 7 is that iconic shorty, but a pretty high birdie rate. So if it's the wind is not swirling real bad, those guys just flight it. All you got to do is just fly it down there and get it on the green somewhere, and you got a pretty decent chance to make a birdie somehow, some way. And then, of course, you end up down here closing out with that iconic number 17, which is very difficult. Does have a 15% birdie rate. So it's all going to depend on what the wind's doing, pretty much. This is a 30% par five, but that is your scorecard for our two golf courses. All right, moving into the stats here a little bit. I'm setting this for top five finishers because with only 80 players, we want to get closer to the top. As you can see, it's obviously, like I said, second shot golf course. Then that putting is a big advantage if you're rolling the rock. Basically, strokes gained off the tee is pretty negated at Pebble. Here's your approach shot distribution. This is probably one of your most important stats of the week here. As you can see, more than enough wedges, tons from 100 to 125, and pretty close to break even there. But then you see how much it dips, even if they're laying up. And even if on the par fives, that's how short these par fives are, is you got less than 200-yard second shots on par fives as well. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you there for the main reason. And then you got your scrambling and your green and regulation pretty evenly. There's your driving accuracy way up because everybody clubs down, obviously, distance way down for the same reason. And then you have this distance of birdie or better kind of never really does it for me, but I just wanted to see if there was any difference in like the 5 to 10 foot range. You can see most of the birdies are actually, or 0 to 5 feet, obviously. But yeah, that's really about all you're looking at there. So getting into more stats, let's see. I do believe I wanted to look at some tournament history, which I had pulled up, but it's not there. All right. We are going to double dip. And Jason Day comes in number one stunner in your salary 8,900. I forgot what he did last week. He actually made the cut. He wasn't playing well in the beginning, but then he got it going. So Jason Day hanging in there. You can see all the good finishes. So he's probably still going to be of interest. Tom Hoge is the guy. He's going to get me sooner or later, but I'm getting burned by him more often than not for some reason. And he's going to rank out in these. I mean, so good because he's so good with his wedges. He's probably one of the best two to five wedge players on tour. Of course, then you got Cantlay. I mean, all these guys are in play. You got the return of Jordan Spieth. He's back. He's been playing golf for about a month or so, practicing without pain. So I'll be interested to see what he brings to the table this week. Nick Taylor, obviously recent winner on PGA Tour. This was the first big hit, one of the first big hits I ever had in DFS in 2020 when he won Pebble. And it was the old contest where they did the FedEx points on Gup's corner. I won like $600 on that because it got me over the top. It was long story short anyway. But Mav McNeely, guy you like to see on these types of courses, small greens, good iron player. Denny McPutts, he has an advantage over people, even though it's POA and he's better on Bermuda. He's still probably the best putter in this field, no doubt. Justin Rose has won here before as well. He had his probably his last PGA Tour win was there. Then of course you had Wyndham Clark with the truncated 3 round win from last year. He has not been playing very well this year at all for some time, to be honest with you. But that's a look at the course history, and now we're going to look over at some modeling. And I like to use the last 6 months this time of year because the fact is, you don't want stats. And I'll show you actually. Here's your model. You see Scotty Scheffler ranking out number one in the model from the last 24 rounds. Cool. That's Scotty Scheffler. Now, if you change it to the last 6 months, whoops, wrong one. Last 6 months, of course, he's had half the rounds, but he ranks now 18th in the model. That's more recent form. So he's 18th in the model as far as recent forms go. That's like four golf tournaments. That's a big enough sample size. You see there's Rory, but here's your model rankings for that. Obviously, there was something more important. Let's see. Here's the model. Obviously, fairways. Then I got approach. There's your big bucket. Gers gained, birdie or better, DK points, standard. You have to score on the par fives. So that's in there. Now, the short game, I included that with it. I wanted some heavier around the green stats. So I got around the green. Then I got short game, which is the combination of putting and around the green play. Then putting from 5 to 10 feet. Like I said, that is one of the toughest all year long that you'll face. So you got a guy like Lee Hodges leading the field in that one. Look at all the good stats he's got. He's number two in the model. So he's 6,200. This could be a Lee Hodges joint right here. Ben Griffin's another one, 6,600. The good part about these being a signature event, and the big dudes are back. Dudes that we were playing at $8,500 like Ben Griffin or $9,000 are now sub 7K. So we got to look at that. One of the big ones, and it's in my mixed condition model, is par three scoring. So, and it's basically you just want to be. I wish I didn't have a strokes gain. Well, strokes gain par three is pretty much what it is. And I had that set somewhere. And let's see. Here's par three scoring last 24 rounds. And you can see Nico. I didn't go individual through here, but Nico leading all the way across the board pretty much, which is interesting. So that's going to make him a definite look. I think Justin Lower is a look. I don't know what to do with JJ Spawn. He looks like he should be absolutely fabulous here, but he just, for some reason, doesn't play well here. He may not be a pro-am guy because I looked at his record. He doesn't really have a great record at Amex either, which is a West Coast, and he's a West Coast guy. So those two pro-ams, he hasn't never really finished. So maybe it's Fade JJ, strokes gain patience. And another guy I like to play recently has been Slamming Sammy Burns. You can see how good he is at par threes. Got a little stat on Sam Burns for you. We'll show you real quick while we're looking. Sam Burns is struggled a little bit on approach the last couple of tournaments, which would not rank him out very well. But the thing he has hit well is the wedges. So he's been a little better with the wedges than he has with the longer irons. And if you remember some of these longer courses we've played, like Century's fairly long, but Amex, you're hitting a lot of longer irons at the stadium course. So he is going to have better stats than they appear. Obviously, such a great putter, good around the green game. The guy gets it done. He gets after it. He gained 7 strokes around the green. That's short game putting. So he does pretty good there. Low key, good one and done play too. And I need to decide if I'm going to get in that one and done contest or not. That starts. It's the one for Rick Run Good. If you're not familiar, it's on Splash Sports. Go check it out. It's the only problem I have with the contest is that it's 111 entries, so people can put in 111 entries, and I'm not doing that for 150 bucks a pop. I don't know many people that do. And Rick was like, "Well, most people aren't going to play more than 5 entries. And I'm not playing 5 entries. I'm just going to do one." But if it is an overlay, which it wasn't even half filled when I checked it today, 3,700, and I think it's barely even. It's not even three, not even 1,500 yet. So I'll be looking at that. If there's a massive overlay, I'll get in it. So I'm almost just waiting, ready to pounce like I would on DraftKings right before lock. So anyway, like I said, guys that play well, we talked about Maverick McNeely, and sorry I got off on a little tangent there. We talked about Mav and his prowess on these shorter courses, but Mav's record actually he's had a couple of struggled years. Uh, Playing farmers, or I mean playing ATT, and I forgot. There's Byron Nelson. Here's the pro am. So he's got a second and a fifth, but I believe he's missed the cut the last 2 years. There, well, 39th in 2024. So not a great finish. But I just Mav is a guy that just makes cuts, and I think he plays pretty good in these signature events as well. And Ludwig is in the tournament. Ludwig Aberg. Boy, he really bad all around Saturday at Torrey. Lost over 4 strokes putting and one birdie, shot 79. Oberg. Let's go sort by salary. He's got to be up here. There's Oberg. So we're not really sure what to think about him. And you can see he doesn't rank out very well in the par three scoring department. But let's go back over here to the last 24 rounds. And this is going to be, we're going to go back to our last 6 months and take a look at the who's ranking out really well. The model, the mixed condition model rank, I haven't really fully tinkered with it, but I got Windy AF for approach. I've got opportunities gained, I think, and then putting, some kind of putting stat, I think, but it's not really something I'm looking at too closely currently. Uh, so mixed condition model, like I said, that's kind of how I got it set right now. Uh, I just wanted to see who's good at par threes, ops gain approach. Sep Straka ranks number one in this one. So, you always got to love Sep. I mean, he just gets it done. Plenty of guys to talk about. JJ Spawn is not one of them. So let's go ahead and finish things out by looking at the contest and making just a quick DraftKings build. The PB&J, Pebble Beach, and Jordan is what that stands for. Jordan Spieth is back. So Scotty Too Hottie is back. He's making his season debut. What are we doing with Scotty? Rory, I guess technically making his debut over here. Uh, he may have played Century. I can't recall off the top of my head. We got Morikawa back. We got JT, who should be lights out here. Cantlay. But we are going to start with just a low key balanced build with a little Slam and Sammy and a little Patrick Cantlay. And then you can look immediately down here to like I said, Nico 6,500. That's a discount. My boy Lee Hodges, that's a discount. And now we got 90, we got 9K. We could go four $9,000 players. As good as Sungjae M's been going, Sungjae, and now we got Decky. I mean, that would be a loaded lineup right there, wouldn't it? That'd probably be very popular. But that's kind of the build I was looking at. Uh, but really, that's kind of probably going to be the popular build this week. Be honest with you, because people are going to be scared to play Scott. He hurt his hand, and he hasn't played all year. He's obviously going to be rusty. He's almost $12,000. So is Scotty Scheffler going to come in here and run roughshod over everybody? I mean, this might be the best chance to get the best discount on over ownership for you, because if he comes out here and mops the floor with them, then everybody's going to be right back to number one stunner Scotty. So let's do what Pebble. So he played last year and finished sixth. So that was during his epic run of domination. And let's see, where was he at after the so he played Century, then he played American. So he was just kind of treading water a little bit before we got to Arnold Palmer. It took, I mean, he had a couple of top tens, but he didn't win till Arnold Palmer. So that is kind of interesting. So you would have to say, oh well, if Scotty's got it, but God, that really hamstrings your lineup. So you would definitely have to go all the way down here and play those guys. But look, you got Novak, you got all kinds of guys. You got Nico, you got Gary Woodland, Gary Club Down, oh Club Down Gary. So you can load up with all kinds of guys. It's going to make it pretty easy with everybody getting 4 rounds to try to get her done. So just remember, Billy Hose, AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am is out. I'll have the link posted, and we will wrap up the show there. Thanks for listening in on me. Sorry, no video of my beautiful face, but time constraints and all that. So until next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.